Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us all our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever and ever. Amen. Our Father, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us all our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and power and the glory forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever and ever. Amen. Our Father, our Father, our Father, our Father in heaven, our Father in heaven.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us here on this beautiful Saturday morning for another episode of Catholics at Home. I am Mag, and I shall be with you throughout the show this morning as we pay tribute to the man we call Dads. How are you today? Thank you so much for joining us from wherever you may be watching us from. Saying good morning to the Diocese of Miri, the Malacca Johor Diocese, of course, the Archdiocese of Kuala Lumpur as well, the Diocese of Penang. Philomena Peterson, you're like one of the very first few that said good morning to us. Thank you so much for setting aside every Saturday morning to keep us company. Okay, we truly, truly appreciate that. Now, Father's Day is just a week away, and we're saying thank you to the man we call Dad, Daddy, Papa, Appa, Father. I'm not quite sure how else dads are addressed in different dialects. Maybe if you're like, tuned in from different parts of the world, or if you come from a different ethnicity and you have a different way of calling your dad, in Iban, Bidayo, Daya, or anything at all, let us know in the comment section below. I'd love to learn how to say or how to call our father in a different dialect, right? So in the meantime, lined up for today's show, we have two dads who are going to be joining us to share their story of being dads, okay? So as usual, okay, the cue is for you to send in your messages, to send in your well wishes. Even if you want to send in some Father's Day messages as well, just drop it in the comment section below, okay? So without further ado, let's welcome our guest for this morning. I'm sorry, for this morning, as Father Clarence Devadas will not be joining us, but we've got two very special dads who will be joining us on the show. We've got our very own Kevin Francis, who is a new dad with a little baby girl, and also single dad Daniel Cheong, who is going to be celebrating his daughter's birthday today. So, welcome, Kevin and Daniel.
Hello.
Hi, Mac. Hi,
Hi,
Kevin.
gentlemen. How are
Hi.
y'all today?
Good.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
we're
it's my
good.
daughter's birthday.
I know. So when your daughter's birthday comes along and being a single dad, that's a lot of responsibility to make sure everything goes right.
Yeah, I have to wear two hats.
What do you have planned for her today?
Well, surprise.
You didn't plan
Ah,
anything. The surprise thing is always no plan, right? All right. So, thank you so much for actually making your time to join us on Catholics at Home this morning.
You're welcome.
I'm going to do a little flashback, okay, for the both of you. Now, growing up, what was your favorite memory with your dads? Let's start with Kevin first.
yeah. So for me, it's a little bit difficult to answer this question because my father passed on when I was very young. Actually, I
Okay.
was 8 years old. So very little memories of me with him, but
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of photos. And what I remember really is I remember he had to go to work, and sometimes he'll take me along. I guess it was on Saturdays, and I can't exactly remember where his office was, but we would take the bus together. Take the
Oh,
bus together. We'll wait for the bus, and wherever we wait for the bus, right? I remember there's always the saga seats. I remember the saga
yes.
seats, the red
The
seats
red
on the
seats.
ground. Yeah. And I always be wandering around picking up those seats, and you'll always have to run after me and say, "Stand here, like don't run away, you'll get lost, and I'll forget to take you or something." But
Those saga
yes,
seats were really good weapons, though.
yeah, he was afraid it goes into my nose. I don't know why. Like I'll breathe it in or something. Yeah, I remember that particularly, but it was fun to just go around with him. Wherever he went, when he's going to the shops, he'll take me, and I guess later I'll share that. That's what I kind of do a lot with my daughter as well, just to take her around because I know even though we didn't do anything special, but it was just fun to just yeah, like, I'm following daddy, what I mean, that
Yeah.
kind of attitude or spirit going along. Yeah.
A very fond memory of your dad, although you were very little. I think what was important to you was the fact that you got to spend time with him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel, what about yourself? What was your favorite memory of, growing up with your dad?
Well, all of us, I think, were born before a smartphone existed. So, yeah, we had all our photo albums. So, the photo albums that I had, and it brings me memory, was a trip to Genting Highlands.
Okay.
Okay, I've never seen cars moving on its own. You know those car rides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I had some great memories there. The theme parks were yeah, they were old, but uh, yeah, we had a lot of fun at Genting Highlands. Yeah, those rides, and I remember I had a photo taken with him in the car where it moves on its own. I was like, wow, it's weird. Yeah,
It was weird but amazing at the same time. Now,
yeah, yeah,
I know we're talking about childhood memories, and Kevin, you shared with us very a memorable part of your childhood growing up with your dad because you lost him at a very young age. But what would you say, at that time, did you learn from him? What was the most valuable lesson that you learned from your dad that you still remember till today? Not putting in saga seeds into your nose is not a lesson.
Yeah, I guess the funny thing, dads, like all dads, I'm sure moms as well, but like people ask me, like, I've been asked this question before, like, what's the advice he's given you or something like that. It's not the words, and,
It's the
especially with dads,
actions.
it's not the words, it's just how they do things.
Yeah.
It's them trying to tell you this is how things are done. So like I remember one thing about my dad is he's very punctual, right? And I remember, and he's quite routine as well. So like we'll always go for sunset mass,
Yeah.
right? 5:45, he'll walk over to the taxi stand like nearby my house, and he's like good rapport with everybody. And then I remember our taxi guy was Encik Yusof. He'll say, Yusof, 6:10 be at my house, and he'll just take a walk. He likes to take his time, but everything is very planned out. He walks there, tells Yusof to take time. He'll come back. He'll be the first to take a shower because everybody else showers like very long. Then I remember seeing him like polishing his boots, his shoe. Everywhere he goes, right, he has to polish his shoe, he has to iron his shirt, all these kind of things, right? It's like he's trying to tell me this is what a man does. You're on time, you organize the house, you organize yourself, you make sure you're presentable and all that. So it's not words that he gave me, but it's always these things that he showed me how to do. And when I don't do it nowadays, I feel like, oh man, I know I need to do this, I need to iron my shirt, but who cares lah? But I know I'm letting him down. Yeah. So, but these are the example of advices that he gives me without him saying words. It's just action, and I want to follow him as much as I can.
Yeah, brilliant, wonderful. I like that. For some weird reason, we have a lot of similarities because my dad was also a little bit like that. I mean, he wouldn't iron his own clothes, but he was very
Mhm.
punctual when it came down to going to church and making sure that everybody is ready and everything was planned ahead. It seemed like they were taking their own sweet time, but everything was planned, lah. Schedule is important. If only they had Google Schedule, huh? The Google Calendars back then, everything we all get the note, lah. Daniel, what about yourself? What would you say is the most valuable lesson that you learned from your dad?
Well, there are a lot of things that I learned from my dad, but there's one thing that's one lesson that I learned from him that stands out, and I still remember it. Would be there are three things in life that you cannot lie, which is health, wealth, and knowledge. Yeah, you
Wow.
may look healthy, but inside of you, are you really healthy? Okay. Wealth. Yeah, you may dress like a wealthy person, but are you really wealthy in your pocket?
Wow.
All right. Yeah, people ask you to, hey, come, let's makan. Okay, you belanja. That shows your wealth.
Okay.
And then knowledge. Yeah, you may look smart, but in your mind, are you really brilliant? Yeah.
Mm.
So this is one thing I remember, and it's still uh, ingrained. It's in my head still. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, right, how does this impact you in your life today? I mean, those three important things, right? How does it impact you in your life?
Okay. Don't lie. Just be yourself. Don't
Wow.
lie. Just
Very,
don't lie.
very, very
If
nice.
it's
So you gotta be true to
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. If you can't afford, then just say you can't afford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin, so right, when you don't do something that you learn from your dad, do you feel guilty?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I know I should do this, but I'm not
Not today, lah.
doing it. Yeah, yeah. If he's
Okay,
around, he'll
under
probably give me a telling off.
but I'm sure, both your dads are very proud of you, how you've become dads as well. Now, if you just joined us, good morning. Welcome to Catholics at Home. My name is Mag, and this morning we are celebrating fathers in conjunction with Father's Day next week. Okay, don't go wish your Happy Father's Day tomorrow. We are 1 week earlier. So it happens on the third Sunday in the month of June. Now, with us this morning, we've got Kevin Francis, who's got a 1-year-old little girl, correct?
Yeah, 15 months already.
Ah, so nice. And Daniel Cheong, who is a single dad whose daughter turned 7 this year. So both milestones, one is like just celebrated her first birthday, and one just went into primary school for the first time. So that's huge memories for both. I mean, Gemma would not really remember her first birthday, but you would remember it as her parent, right? So I'm just curious, right? How did it feel when you found out that you were going to be a dad?
Kevin,
Kevin?
your spit is
Yeah.
still
Oh,
fresh
me.
in you.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, it's fresh. Yeah, it was really unbelievable because for those of you who know my journey with my wife Sue, uh, we were married since 2014, so we've been trying for about 7 years, and we thought that that was not for us. The child was not for us. Maybe God had other plans. We even very funny. We even applied to the adoption. I don't know what you call them, right? To
Yeah.
We wanted to adopt a kid, and they emailed us and said, "Yeah, we'll get back to you," and they didn't even get back to us. so
Oh
it's like,
dear.
so it's like, is God really trying to tell us no kids for you guys? It was like pretty clear when you even try to adopt a kid, right? And someone said, "Yeah, we'll get back to you," but they didn't. They didn't get back to you. So, yeah. So when we found out, it was, yeah, it was. I mean, even until today, sometimes we tell each other like, can you believe it? We are saying she's our daughter. Like, can you believe it? She's here. Like, even today, still we are pinching ourselves, trying. 15 months, but we still haven't like really. It has sunk in that we actually are parents. So yeah,
Oh.
it's still a shock, really.
Okay. So it's like you're still in disbelief, but when she throws up or when she leaves a number two, then it becomes real for a little while. Lah.
Yeah, but like when I posted her when she was first born, and I posted a picture right on like our social media and stuff, and my words there was like in his time, which really
Yeah,
in the Lord's time, right? In his time, we don't know, right? And it's funny. I
absolutely.
just had a quick story. So we like to count back when did it really happen that this
That
one, right?
miraculous night.
And I remember, yeah, when we tried to count back, like when was that, right? And it's very funny. Okay, oh no, I'm caught. Okay, we suspect, right? Or I suspect, right? It was during a weekend where I hosted the Catholics at Home podcast, and we had the Archbishop from in India, or sorry, the Cardinal or Archbishop from India, right? With Father Clarence, and he kept calling me Father Kevin, Father Kevin. You know what I mean? He thought I was a priest, and I
Yeah.
was hosting the show. He kept calling me Father Kevin, Father Kevin. So after the show, I was joking with Father Clarence, like, oh, he didn't know I'm a priest, and he keep calling me Father and Father. And like now looking back at it, right? Maybe there was something in it that the Lord was trying to tell me, get ready, you're going to be
Indeed.
a father someday, pretty soon.
Divine intervention live on Catholics at Home. Not bad. But
Maybe I'm reading
that's
too
a
much into this. Yeah.
sweet memory, but it's something you cherish, and the story you can share with your daughter when she's old enough and don't want to hear it. Daniel, what about yourself? Do you remember the day you found out that you're going to be a dad?
Well, Natalie was a gift from God. Okay, my late wife was 7 years older than me, so we knew that it's not easy for her then to conceive.
Yeah.
So every year we actually go on a pilgrimage to St. Anne's Bukit Batajam. She's if I'm not wrong, she's a patron saint for all mothers, yeah, and expectant mothers. Yeah, so uh, I should say that it was all it's God's gift to us. All right, and then yeah, like any other dads, yeah, you'll be like, oh no, speechless. I'm a dad.
Yeah.
All right, and then what's next? Oh no, financial, everything,
Yeah.
all in place. So yeah, I was like, yeah, you feel nervous at the same time you're happy, you're overjoyed,
Yeah.
uh, but at the same time you don't know what to expect in future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my experience with Natalie
Okay.
here.
Okay. So do you remember the first time you held your baby girls? I mean, when they were born? Oh, describe that feeling. I want to know, Daniel.
Okay, I'm the oldest in my family, so
Yeah.
I'm blessed, or I have the benefit, or what is this, the advantage to carry babies. So when I carried my daughter, it was a norm for me, but she as
Daughter,
my
your own
child,
flesh
my
and
own
blood,
daughter,
yeah?
that's double. Yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah, that feeling, right? Uh, First of all, it was a bit worrying for me because my wife gave me specific instructions to make sure that you look at the correct baby. You know, you you pick the correct. You know, I no because to be honest, we like to watch
Uh-huh.
TV series, right? And we were watching this
Right.
show called Switch at Birth.
Switch
Have
at
you heard of
birth,
it?
yes.
Switch at Birth? Yeah. So we watched it like every night before in the series, right? So when it came, we were like, "Hey, make sure you don't you don't identify the wrong baby," because the nurse will come and bring the baby to you, right, and say, "Oh, this is your
Right.
daughter or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, let me check. Is she really my daughter? You know, check the tag and everything. You know, make sure it's the right one." Yeah, but after all that is done, right? I just kept looking at her, and then like the nurse was like, "Okay, sir, is it okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Oh, do I have to leave now? I just want to look at her for the next 5 hours. Is that right? No, no, no. We have to clean her up first and everything. You know, I mean, then after we'll bring it to you. Oh, okay, okay, all right. I don't know all these things, but yeah. I was just watch her, make sure nobody takes my baby.
And switch her midway.
Yeah, you know.
Speaking about baby, the you call it delivery room, correct? What do you
Yeah,
call it?
yeah,
What kind
yeah,
of room
yeah,
you call it?
yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah,
delivery room.
yeah. I was like, I was nervous. I was like, I was lost. Don't know what to do. I was like, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
It's like, doctor, can you brief what is my role here? What do I do
Uh,
now?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was air conditioned, but I
Yeah.
was perspiring.
Do you
Yeah.
ever look at your daughter today and, reminisce that moment where she came into the world
Yeah, yeah.
all
Uh,
the time?
yeah, yeah, all the
Ah,
time. I mean, like again, I
right.
mean, like for my wife and I, it's quite different because like we really don't take these things for granted because we really wanted a kid and we thought we are not gonna have one. So every day, every time when we look at her, we're like, "Oh, this is just a miracle." To us, she's just a miracle, and we think back of the things we went through, and of course, when she came, it was just pure joy. Yeah,
Yeah. So Kevin, you're a new dad. Your baby girl just turned 15 just turned 12, 12, like
15
1 year
months.
old, 12 months,
Yeah.
a couple of months ago. How has that journey been for you? I mean, knowing that it was difficult, to conceive in the beginning, and then she came along, and I'm sure life changed completely for you, right? You had to make alterations in how things were in your life, reprioritize as well. Maybe tell us your story.
Yeah. Uh, so I would say challenging, and I'm sure every father will say it's challenging, at first. But for me, maybe it's a little bit more challenging than others because I feel that I'm a little uh, older to have my first kid, right? So I'm not so like if like I wish I was like at least 5 or 10 years younger. I'll be more energized, more energetic. But to be honest, I'm already in my late 40s already, and to have a first kid at that at that age, you really got to keep your energy up and stuff like that. So it's challenging in that sense for me because it's tiring, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I wonder like how moms do it, how single dads do it. I really pay respect to all you guys out there, like Daniel and the stuff and moms. Really parents. I don't know how you guys do it. So for me it's challenging, but yeah, but it's really joyful to do it. So like for me, I have like at least one day in a week where it's just me and my daughter. I take care of her uh, mostly by myself, although my wife's around. But the next day it's like, oh man, I miss her.
Oh, okay. So is this like something that you decided that you're going to do all the time? I mean, one day in a week, you're going to just be that day, daddy, baby day.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully more than one day. Because I've got work as well.
Mm.
Then my wife works, so usually we send it to her her grandparents, my wife's parents, and
Okay.
they'll take care of her. But I told my boss that I need one day, so usually it's Monday. Every Monday I don't work. Told my boss I can't
Okay.
work on Mondays, right? So it's good for me. My work is flexible, right?
Yes.
So I told my boss Mondays I can't work. So Mondays is me and Gemma. It's Gemma and Papa Day. I take care of her, feed her everything, bathe her, take her out for walks and stuff. And yeah, and then Tuesday comes. It's like I message my wife. Oh, miss that girl.
Do you see this continuing? I mean, until she is well into her teens as well?
Yeah. The plan is I really want to be a full time hands on dad. So yeah, so I'm trying to transition to a more work from home or freelance environment,
Mm.
and and really take care of my kid. Yeah.
Why is that important to you, Kevin?
Um. Is that's Yeah. I guess we've talked about my dad who passed on early. I guess that's something that's behind of my head. That's always okay. The funny thing, right? Fun fact. Okay, my dad was 46 when he had his first kid, which was my sister, my elder sister, right? And 4 years later, I came along when he was 50, right? And then he passed away 8 years later. I had Gemma, my daughter, last year when I was 46.
Wow.
It's like,
Okay.
wow, and so I know as a kid, I wanted more time with my dad. And something behind my head tells me that, first of all, you got to stay healthy, okay, to be around. But, every moment, don't waste this the time you can have with your kid. So I want to be around for her, I'm not sending her to any babysitter or whatever. And I want to be around, spend as much time as possible. I mean, you never know, right? When's your time? So, but I know
Absolutely.
that I only had 8 years with my dad, and of course, I want to have more years with my daughter. So it's important for me to spend as much time as I can with her.
Yeah. Making time count lah. Every second counts,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Okay. Now, Daniel, your little one is not so little anymore. She's 7 this year, but your journey has been pretty different. Your wife passed away a few years ago and you had to raise her by yourself. Tell us about your journey.
Okay, I must tell you, it was not easy. I have to wear two hats. Sometimes I have to be good, sometimes to be bad. Okay, not to say
You have to
bad.
be good cop
Uh,
and bad cop at the
Good,
same
yeah,
time.
yeah, the good cop and bad cop. Yeah, but when my late wife passed away, I actually explained to her uh, what was it all about, and she understood. She understood that mommy was in heaven. Okay, it's in heaven right now, and she's watching over us. Uh, and then she totally understands what I'm going through, and sometimes without even telling her, she automatically helps me with houseworks. When I'm doing my laundry, she helps me. Um, yeah, this shows that she understood what I went through, what we went through, and I was from Kuching, so but I'm a KL boy. So not all of us know about the immigration issues there. So I was actually forced to move back here. So after
Okay.
staying there for so many years, I had to come back here again. I got to readjust myself. Uh, it was not easy for me. It was difficult to even look for a full-time job.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I had to do small businesses on my own. So
Okay.
if you tell me whether it was a perfect journey, I said, well, those good and bad experience, I consider them as perfect journey.
Okay. Okay. It makes the journey worth it.
Yeah,
How old was she when your wife passed away?
turning three.
Turning 3. And she
Uh,
understood that.
yes, I actually brought her to the columbarium,
Okay.
and I showed the call it her picture, and she cried. At the age
Okay.
of three, she cried, and I thought to myself, I must tell her. If I don't tell her what's going on, at the end of the day, when she grows older or she becomes an adult, she may blame me for not telling
Yeah.
her. So I think it's my responsibility to actually tell her what's going on.
How did
Yeah.
you deal with the fact that, you were going through grief at that point, losing your wife, and then you had a 3-year-old daughter and having to deal with immigration issues at the same time? So now you had to move your whole life, which she was so familiar with, from Kuching to KL. How was that whole process?
So it was really tough. But I actually, one thing I should say is, without God, or I wouldn't be here right now. I really, really surrendered to God, and I really thank God for all the friends I had, my relatives. Uh, Without them, I think I may not be here.
Yeah.
Or yeah, so I really thank God that without with Him, everything is possible.
Amen. For
Yeah.
sure. Okay. So do you have like well, technically every day is like, Natalie and Daddy Day, but do you like put aside one special day for her where, you don't go to work and it's just the two of you?
Wow. Okay, that's a tough question. Okay. Okay. When she started schooling, or when she started going to kindergarten, well, I was very happy that she made friends.
Okay.
Okay, because before she went to the kindergarten, it was me and her every day. So I needed to actually break that barrier, where I think it's
Mm,
time for her to actually explore the world on herself.
the outside world.
So
Okay.
so yeah, with kindergarten and now entering the primary school, I feel my heart feels at peace. Actually, at the same time worried. Yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, but I'm happy that she can mingle around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you juggle between work and your daughter?
Okay, business is flexible, so
Okay.
hours are flexible. So when she's in school, then I do my work. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So I'm just curious, lah, guys. Most of the time, I hear a lot of men say it's easier to raise boys because you can relate to your son. Growing up, you remember how it used to be like when you were an 8-year-old boy and then 16-year-old boy, the first crushes and whatnot, right? But we also know that dads will always have a little softer spot for their little girls as well. So now, as dads for little girls, is this true? I'm just curious. Do you have a softer spot for your daughter than perhaps if you had a son?
Can I answer that first, Kevin?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Because I'm wearing two hats, I must say, uh, girls and boys are alike.
Alike. Okay.
Okay, and previously I used to teach,
Yeah.
so I know boys and girls. So not all girls are girls. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, So I mean, you got to treat them equally. Okay,
Absolutely.
when it's time to discipline, you got to discipline.
Yeah.
When they behave well, then you praise them. You say award them or reward
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So for me, both boys and girls equal.
Equal. But okay, when you found out that you guys were having a baby, did you hope for a boy or a girl?
No, actually no. I went for the pre-marriage course. They had this program where you can
Yes.
actually yeah. So I went through the program. So yeah, so I wasn't like I don't know, must it be a boy? Must it be a girl? No.
So you were
Yeah.
ready to accept
Yes.
anything that came
Yeah.
your way.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin, what about you? When you first found out that, Sue was pregnant, right? Were you hoping for a little boy or a little girl?
Yeah, I was hoping for a girl actually.
Ah,
Yeah,
see, I told
like,
you. There's
like I
always
said,
a
I was
softer spot.
no, like I said, I was getting older, right? And I'm really lazy. And I was thinking if it was a boy, and I've got to take him to play football, and I have to run around, and I didn't want to. I was thinking, oh, if she's a girl, it's probably much better. So I
You're
was
passing
rooting.
them. You're passing the responsibility to your wife, is it?
Yeah, yeah. My wife wanted a boy, really. Yeah. I mean, we didn't mind anything lah, right? Boy or girl, right? But in terms of preference, I was like, I prefer a girl, and my wife said, I prefer a boy. So we're like, okay, if it's a girl, I get to name the baby. If it's a boy, you name the baby.
So
No,
you
but
named her.
the funny thing, right? So we didn't mind knowing the sex of the baby beforehand, and usually by around 20 weeks or so, the doctors can already see a little bit and tell you, right?
Yes.
But my girl kept hiding it. You know what I mean? Yeah, the doctor said, I can't
Smarter than
see.
you.
She's closing her legs. She's closing her legs. And every week we went to check, right? The doctor said, I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you. And it was more like we want to know, And finally, on my birthday week, yeah, the doctor said, okay, she's giving you a present. She's showing you it's a girl.
Oh, okay,
It was
okay. So
funny.
you were happy
Patience,
lah
Daddy.
because you were hoping it's
Daddy,
a
have
girl.
patience, Daddy.
Patience, yeah.
Patience. Very important. So, right now that you guys say that both boys and girls are equal, we are. Do you raise your daughter differently, or do you raise them as if doesn't matter whether it's a boy or a girl, we'll still go out to the park, we'll still play football, we'll still play computer games, and do house chores at the same time. It's an equal playing field.
Yeah. It's an
Yes.
equal thing, I think. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, same, same.
So, Kevin, do you hope to impart your football knowledge on your little girl as well, and she has to
Yeah,
follow daddy's favorite team?
yeah. She's quite she's quite rough. I mean, she's not so so reserved. Sometimes it's quite funny. Like my wife and I were a bit we're not so forward and all that, but my girl looks to be totally different. She's like really pulling. We go to church and we're in the baby's room, right? She's like poking the other baby's eye and pulling, and I know like she doesn't care.
Okay,
Yeah,
looks like somebody's got to get ready for teachers calling you to come to school.
yeah.
Mr.
I think
Francis,
so.
can you please come and meet us tomorrow? Daniel, what about yourself? I mean,
Well, same with
what's your
Kevin.
daughter like? Same,
Yeah, same with
very
Kevin.
rough and
I
tough.
think we do things together. Yeah, we go for holidays together,
Yeah.
and yeah. But I'm sad to say, I'm not a supporter of Liverpool. I'm other Clarence side. So my daughter knows who am I supporting.
Yeah.
Father Clarence,
No, we are the same. We are the same, Daniel. We are the same.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
y'all all
Good.
MU fans lah.
Yeah.
Three against two, Mark, Darren, and Christopher.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a secret, okay? So when I was pregnant, this one I found out later on, because when I gave birth to my boy, he seemed to had this interest in the Manchester United theme song. Okay. And I was like,
Ah,
wow, interesting, how he also likes Manchester United. And then later I found out from my husband that whenever I slept at night, he would sing to my belly. So my son kind of like grew up with that song. So he
okay.
like automatically became an MU fan. So yeah, you can trust dads to do weird things lah sometimes, just for the support of their favorite football team. Now, good morning. Welcome to Catholics at Home. Catholics at Home. If you're just joining us this morning, we're talking about Daniel and Kevin's stories as fathers, and as we celebrate Father's Day next week. Now, Philomena says girls and boys are obviously different, definitely different challenges, and she has both a son and her daughter, and she shares your experience as well, Kevin. She said that her firstborn was also 7 years into a marriage, and she thanks God for that as well. I want to say good morning to everyone tuning in, to Santa Mary, to Mary, me, Lee, and everyone watching, to Rita as well. Now, gentlemen, in the world that we live in today, let's face it, okay, everything is different from the way that we were raised, right? I was raised with a cane. My mom was like the disciplinarian. Daddy didn't do, he didn't get involved in that, but you knew that when daddy got involved, all he had to do was to look at you and that's it. you'd make sure you get things done. So what is your preferred parenting style, and I mean, how do you hope to raise your daughter, especially in this world of social media? Everything is just out there. Kevin.
Tough one. Yeah, tough. You can't really say how you want to raise because things might change. Uh,
Yes.
but well, definitely everybody in the family knows that I'm going to give in, right?
So
Because
you're the good cop lah.
no, yeah, but she's my daughter lah. If it's a boy, I think if it's a boy, I might be a little bit different. I might be a bit more tough
Oh,
on him. You know,
okay.
but I can't look at my daughter and like not give her what she wants.
But she's only
My
15
wife
months
knows I'm going
old.
to give in. Yeah, I'm going to be soft.
Yeah.
I'm going to be soft.
Now, I mean, at 15 months old, it's easier lah to say, okay, give her what she wants, right? But at
Yeah.
15 years old, do you think you'd still be saying, if she brings, a boyfriend that has, everything that is against your principles, what then, daddy-o?
Where's the
Not
nearest
yet.
convent? Can someone direct me?
You need a boarding school.
Yeah.
Don't think about it yet.
Daniel, what about yourself? I mean, what's your parenting style like, considering the fact that you have to be both good cop and bad cop, right?
Yeah, I actually had to use, not to use, um, to show the cane to frighten her. But I don't really. I mean, I use it, but not all the time. Okay, just to frighten her. Yeah, but at the same time, I use more on words.
Okay.
What do you call it? There's a saying, reasoning.
Okay.
Okay, but sometimes if reasoning doesn't work, then no choice. I gotta show her
No choice.
the yeah, but anyway, all of us were born with rotans. Uh,
Yes.
uh, Somehow I feel that rotan is actually important.
Work. Yeah, it's very essential in our Asian Asian parenting styles.
And children nowadays are smarter than last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But you
mean,
got to understand that children these days also have access to social media. So even if you use the cane, eventually you'll get onto social media.
yeah, especially TikToks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be really cool though to see different things.
Kevin,
Okay.
because Kevin, your daughter is only 15 months old. What do
Yeah.
you think? Uh, Screen while eating.
Oh no, we don't use screen at all to even to keep her entertained. One thing about my wife and her family, they're so creative. We always do things that physically do things, play with stuff, even just from little paper or the toilet roll cone
Yeah.
or cardboard. We can make games and play with her. We try to be as creative as possible. We definitely don't use screen, and from our discussions, I mean, with my wife and all that, we definitely not going to try to avoid that as much as possible.
Hmm.
I've also done some research and studies on screen for not just babies but also young children in terms of the radiation and stuff. There's a lot of professors who've spoken about it on YouTube and all that with clear studies. So definitely, we're not going to expose her too much to the screen. Yeah, even right now, until now, I think so far we never really had to. The only thing I guess we do, we have there's like a video on YouTube, right, that we play the lullaby just to get her to sleep. That's
Hmm.
as
Okay.
far as we have gone. As far as we have gone, right? It's just a YouTube video just for the sound to put her to sleep, and she goes to sleep with that quite well actually. So
Okay.
that's as far as we've gone so far. But we have discussed that we don't bring. I mean, even me and my wife, we are we don't we're not like those who's constantly on the phone. If we're on the phone,
Okay.
it's because of work. That's for sure. But we're not. Even sometimes we want to take pictures of my daughter, right? We're like, where's the phone? Now we can't even find our phone. we are dead. By the time we find our phone, the moment is over. So we're a bit old school in that sense, lah. We're not so like the hip hop
Hip hop, ah?
parents.
I
Hip hop parents,
also against the
everything
screens
there's
as well.
a picture, there's a phone there. So I think she's gonna be pretty safe from that for a while, lah.
For a while. Okay.
Yeah, for a while until she has friends. Probably not.
Or she goes to school. I tell you,
Yeah,
when they go to school,
yeah,
they learn
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, the
You can
problem will
protect
come
Mm.
when
them.
she mix with other kids and other
Correct.
kids, try to influence her. That's when I think the problem will come because within the family, I think we're quite safe in terms of avoiding screen time.
Okay.
It's
That's going
happening
to be
right now.
a very tough challenge eventually as she grows up, though. Yeah.
It's happening right
Daniel,
now
what
with my
about
daughter.
yourself? Do you watch, screens during dinner?
Oh no, not allowed.
Not allowed.
No. Yes, not allowed.
So what do you
Uh,
do during dinner? You have conversations.
yeah, we have conversations. But my daughter tends to eat slow, so I actually talk less. I just told her, or just tell her, uh, finish your food, don't talk. Okay. After food, only then we talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very silent dinner.
No choice because she won't be able to focus. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
now kids these days, they cannot do so
Attention
many things at
span.
one go.
True. True. Okay. So considering the fact that you have daughters, right? What is your biggest fear as they grow up?
Never thought
The
about
biggest,
that.
yeah, I mean the biggest fear, whether they are daughters or sons, is still the culture outside. If they don't have the same values that we have, then it's going to be very challenging because I mean we have to send them to school and all that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a law, right? So we have to send them to stuff, and we want them to mix around, but we don't know. We have to really choose. I guess we have to make wise decisions and choose wisely who they're going to mix around with, and also like Daniel said, do a lot of reasoning at home from the start just to get that foundation in. Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, what about yourself?
I have never thought that to the extent.
To that extent, we'll do it one day at a time. We'll get there. We'll
One day at
deal
a
with
time.
that
Yes.
when we get there.
Yeah, one day at a time. Yes.
Okay.
So every day is a learning process.
Absolutely.
So there's ones that I found love letter from schoolmates. I said, "What is this?" Okay. Uh, and I explained to her. He said, "No, when you go to school, you listen to teacher. Listen to what teacher is teaching. Okay, stop doing all this." Okay. Yeah, puppy love. I'm sure we had puppy love when we were young.
This year is it when she turns? No,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year when
this
she
year,
went
yeah.
to primary school. Wow, Daniel's going to be dealing with boyfriends at a very early age.
No,
Get
it
a gun,
wasn't
Daniel.
one. It's a golden. It's a triangle.
Wow. Okay, I would like to have this conversation when she's 15.
Oh,
Kevin hasn't started because he's kept her sheltered for
Yeah.
now, and she's only
Yeah.
15 months. So yeah, we'll have this conversation again when both your kids are 15 years old or 16.
no, I think most of us have we had puppy love before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, but not at 7 lah.
Uh, okay.
And the
like
good
like
thing
like
is, sorry, go ahead.
like I said, I'm gonna be the plan is to be a full-time dad, right? So I'll
Yes.
be like stalking her everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's a
When
great.
she goes for lunch break, goes on outings with friends, sleepovers, I'll be right there. When she goes
Oh,
to college overseas, I'll rent the building next to her.
oh.
Someday she will cut that cord.
Yeah, she's gonna hate me,
Daddy, I
I'm
want
sure.
my freedom, Daddy.
Yeah. Have you not heard of personal space? Okay, so when you picture your life as a dad for your little girls, right? What is the future that you envision for her? I know they're still very young, but what's the future that you hope she has someday? Kevin?
Mm, Pretty hard to say right now, but of course, uh, the way I look at things is not so much brilliant and academically smart and all that. To me, what's important is, of course, that she just be a very kind and caring person. I like her. I like her to learn to relate more to people rather than be book smart. I want her to be more street smart. Maybe because that's a bit of how I am. I didn't have much education as well. Of course, I wanted to have the best education. That will come after she becomes a nice person first. Knows how to treat people and converse with people. I wanted to know how to handle situations. Yeah, I wanted to learn how to handle situations. Think for herself. That would be how I would wish my daughter grows up to be.
Wonderful. I love that. Daniel, what about yourself?
Okay, it was a bit lagging. What was the question just now?
What's the future that you envision for your daughter?
Oh, okay. The very first thing that when she came into this world, we already said, because this is a gift from God. My wish and my prayers is that she will one day be a nun.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like giving back to God. Well, but that's her discernment. I cannot decide for her, but I
Yeah.
can pray for her. Yeah.
Yeah. I can relate to that for sure. Now, as a whole, right? Kevin being a dad for 15 months, Daniel being a dad for 7 years now. What's the most fulfilling thing that you've ever felt being a dad to your little girls? Daniel?
Seeing her graduate from kindergarten, I mean, yeah, it's like I cried, even though it was just
Oh,
kindergarten. Uh, and to see her performing on the stage is like, wow, I didn't know she had so many talents.
yeah.
All right. And then, yeah, I was in tears also because being a single parent, um, bringing her up like this is like, it's really mission accomplished. Yeah.
One.
And so to all parents out there, especially single parents, put faith in God. God is your pillar of strength.
Amen. Okay. Kevin, what about yourself?
Yeah. Of course, I don't have that much experience. For her to do talent shows and stuff or
Not
graduating, but
yet.
not yet, not yet.
Soon,
But
soon.
it's but to be honest, from the start, the pregnancy was very high risk, right? I won't go into details. Very high risk, and so we were very worried, and that we might not have a kid actually. But in the end, even the doctors were a bit surprised that ever since she was in the womb, she was just a fighter. She would overcome challenges. And even when she was born, and whatever challenges that came her way, my wife and I are sometimes just amazed. Like she pulled through. She keeps on fighting, and sometimes my wife and I worry even more than we should. Right? First time parents, right? And sometimes and things work out, and she gets better, she gets healthy, and whatever. All the mistakes that my wife and I do, sometimes we call ourselves dungu parents. We want to start a podcast, two dungu parents and a kid, but anyway, but she pulls through, she comes through, she's a fighter. And sometimes we just tell ourselves, what, we are her parents here, but the one that's really looking after her is God above, right? So in any case, we always say, what, we just do what we can here, but He will take care of her. We don't have to worry too much. God will take care of her, and yeah, and we feel like she has that. It's very funny. We try to teach her words, right? Like how to say mommy, daddy, papa, and all that, right? You know what? What was one of her first words that she says and she says it every time, every day. She says, Emma. That's when we
Amen.
say, yeah, when we say it to our Lord Jesus Christ, and she say, Emma. She says Amen, every time. And that's, my wife and I, we really are so glad that that's her first words that she says. Uh, so we know she's going to be a praying kid. We always pray together. We get her to say Amen. Uh, and stuff like that. So that's what's very fulfilling to see her. We hope she's going to be a very God fearing kid. Someone who serves the community, serves the Lord, and yeah, we know that if we don't have a back, the Lord has a back. We're quite
Yeah.
confident in that.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so we are coming to the end of the show already. I'm just going to ask you three questions very quickly, and each of you will have to give me one answer lah. Let's start with Daniel first, and then we'll go to Kevin. So the first question is, what is your favorite daddy moment, Daniel?
His 6 years old, her 6 years old birthday, which it was last year, because the last 2 years there were no celebrations in kindergarten. We were all at home, so
Yeah.
the that was the first birthday party she had, and made it very grand. Yeah,
Okay,
a superhero theme.
very nice. So what superhero did daddy come as?
I wore a Superman T-shirt and she wore a Supergirl costume.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, Kevin, what about you? What's your favorite daddy moment?
Uh, Daddy Mom is actually whenever we feed her, right, I feed her, right. She has this thing that she likes to feed the person back. And
Okay.
I always like her feeding me. It's it's so cute when she does it, and I feel like because like I said, one reason why I wanted a girl, right? Because I know a girl will
We'll
take
take
care of me when I'm older. If I had a boy, he might probably send me to a home, but let's just put old Papa in that home there. I got no time for him. But I think my daughter won't do that. So, but yeah, but I like it when she takes care of me.
Oh, you're training her from now lah for the future. Can leave that to Kevin, huh? He's very good. He planned everything well. Now, okay, as dads as well, I'm sure you've got your designated roles. What is your favorite role to play as a dad? Kevin.
Designated role. I'm not sure about roles, but what I have to do every morning is I have to get her ready. So I like change her and give her a wipe down, and that's the best time. And I'm like I have to wipe her everywhere and all that, right? And then I'm like just holding her. Her face is right in my face here, and
Oh,
I can't stop kissing her really.
yeah,
So there's one time, right, when can you believe it? We have swimming class for her. I mean, we took her for swimming class as a baby, right? Because we had a free voucher or something like that. And usually my wife goes in with her, but one of the sessions I had to go in. My wife couldn't go
yeah.
in, so I went in with her, right? I couldn't focus. I was just holding her in the pool and I was playing with her, kissing her and everything. The trainer was like, dude, it's a swimming class, not kiss your baby day. I couldn't just, I, I just love to be with her and cuddle her and everything. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Daniel, what about yourself?
For me, is like I think my key, or my what do you call it, my favorite role would be uh, bring her to school on my own. It's like her first day of school. It's
Yeah.
like uh, my heart was like saying, will she cry? Will she cry? Will she look for daddy? Will she run back to daddy? But no, she was excited to go to school. So I could actually leave without without problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Magic question I need to know. Were you disappointed that she didn't cry and going to school happily without daddy?
No, actually, no.
Secretly, you were, right? Actually, it's like, how come? How
It
did she
shows that
leave
she's
me so
independent.
easily and went to school? Yeah, yeah. Understand. I'm just kidding. Okay, so the
But
yeah.
but when I But when I drop her to school and when I go to work, that's when I felt worried. That's when I felt worried. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but that feeling as a mother, that feeling never leaves you. My son's like going on 13 this year, and I still feel that whenever I drop him off at school. It's like, okay. So then I just leave it in the hands of the Lord because only He can take care of my son while he's at school, you know? So yeah. Okay, finally, one of the most valuable lesson you hope that your daughter will learn from you and continue in her life in the future. Of course, Kevin, not now lah, while she's 15 months, but eventually as she gets older.
Yeah, I hope she'll learn to never give up hope. You know, like I said, we've always been a perseverance has always been a key value in my family. Where we keep on going, and like I said, we always place our trust in the Lord that whatever happens, he has our back. So I wanted to also go through life knowing that, because of course all of us will go through challenges. She will go through challenges and tough
Yeah.
moments and whatever. But I just want her to, before I depart, I want her to know certainly that that yeah, just have hope, things will turn out well.
Nice. Daniel?
I will always tell my daughter this every day. You know, learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
We are all human beings. We make mistakes. So when we make mistakes, that's where we learn. So
Yeah.
I always remind her that tomorrow's another better day. So improve yourself. Yeah.
Wow. Starting her very young, huh? I like that.
No, because I'm wearing two hats, so I have to. Yeah.
Play the mommy and the daddy role at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now we've come to the end of the show already. Before I let you go, both of you, what is your wish as a dad? Your one wish as a dad. Kevin?
Yeah, I wish I will be here as long as possible to spend as much time as I can with my daughter. That's really, nowadays, right? I'm you get really scared with illnesses and
Yep.
stuff like that, right? And yeah, so I just wish I can be around as long as possible for her. She's changed that, when she came, right? That's what really changed. It's like I really want to be here as long as possible. Yeah.
Daniel?
For me, I think my wish is, uh, God, you are my pillar of strength. I'm depending on you 100%, and I'm lifting up my daughter into your hands. Yeah, that's my wish.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, thank you so much, Kevin and Daniel, for joining us on this special Father's Day tribute. It was really, really wonderful hearing both your journeys because it's different, and for you to bare your soul somewhat and share your stories. We really appreciate it. And we hope that you have a wonderful Father's Day next week. Uh, you know, Kevin, what's your ideal Father's Day like?
Oh, I just like to go out with Gemma, and bring out. So if
So
they're
you leave
bringing me
Sue at
out,
home and then you go out with her.
no, 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 I need Sue. I need Sue. I'm not that level yet. you know. But just before we end, I just want to quickly say that even though our stories like Daniel and mine are very different, but I think we can also see the similarities that And I'm not just saying this because it's a Catholic show, Catholics at home. I'm not just saying this, but really we've got, when it comes to our children, right? There's so much we can do, and we really have to place our trust in the Lord, in Mother Mary and all the saints to the angels to guard her and to protect her, because there's so much going on in this world. And as dads, right, like Daniel say, want to be Superman, and we want to be there for her all the time. I want to be all the time and protect her, but sometimes we can only do so much, and we really need the Lord to protect her and guide her.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we've lost Daniel. Did he come back? Okay, he came back.
I
Hey,
came back with
Natalie.
another person.
He came back with another person. Hi, Natalie.
Please say
Happy
hi.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Say thank you. She's a bit shy.
I can tell. What do you want to do with your daddy today?
Oh,
You can say anything. He's on a podcast. He cannot say
Yeah,
no.
he can't say no.
You're lucky she's shy, lah, Daniel.
yeah.
Oh, Daniel, what is your perfect Father's Day like?
Spending quality time with her. Uh, yeah, that's the only thing because life is unpredictable. We can't
Yep.
tell when God is going to call us,
Yeah.
so every minute counts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much once again for joining us, Daniel and Kevin. I'm going to wish you a fantastic Father's Day next week, one filled with love, joy, happiness, and of course, loads and loads of God's blessing. You guys are doing an amazing job. I know it's difficult in both your journeys and different at the same time. But like Kevin said, it's all in His grace, in His time, and everything will eventually work out for us all. So thank you, Jules. Thank you so much, guys. And thank
Thank
you so
you.
much to everyone who's been watching us from the start to the end and joining us and sending out your messages as well. We wish all dads who are tuned in happy early Father's Day. Have a good one. And we will see you next week on Catholics at Home. Bye bye now.
Bye bye.
We're still here, love.